So, in honor of it being Easter weekend, I want to cover or talk about what is easily one of my favorite and also most kind of fearful passages in Scripture. And it's two that have to be kind of pulled together in order for you to understand it, and you need a specific version in order to understand it. What I'm trying to say. So, in the Last Supper, in the Upper Room Discourse, John expands on this massive sequence of speeches that Jesus gives as he's talking to his disciples for like the last time before he dies. And in chapter 15, he starts talking about, he says, I'm the true vine. My Father is the vine dresser, is what you are going to find in most English translations. The ESV, the NLT, the NIV, vine dresser, or the vine keeper, things like this. Well, if you read the King James Bible, it has a different word there, and it's husbandman, which if you have, like, if you've ever been around large animals, then you know that animals aren't just raised. Like, you don't get a Boy Scout badge for animal caregiving. You get animal husbandry, specifically usually referring to horses, cattle, sheep, swine. It's animal husbandry because you're putting into this animal energy and love and care so that it can thrive. That without you doing so, if you were to just shut a horse into a shelter, into a stall, and just leave it there, it would starve to death and die, right? Well, in Ephesians chapter 5, Paul writes to his audience there in the church of Ephesus and tells them regarding the manner in which husbands and wives are to live together is like Christ loved his church and gave himself up for her so that he might sanctify her, cleanse her by washing of water with the word, so that he might present her to himself a spotless bride without blemish or wrinkle. When I took on the mantle of husband, I was simultaneously taking on the role of a husbandman for my wife, which is why they're the same word. But we've lost sight. When you ask the average person out there on the street, what is a husband? They're just going to say a man who is married to another person, usually a woman. But it actually means someone who takes active, intentional care of another living thing. A husbandman of a vine is pruning and trimming it and tying up the branches so that it's going to be able to thrive and produce fruit. A husbandman of a horse is going to be regularly scheduling in appointments with the farrier, or even shoeing it in, or herself is going to brush out its mane, and it's going to scrape out the shoes, and it's going to do all these things so that it can live and thrive, and even do nice things for it occasionally, just because that's what a good husbandman does. He's not someone who's going to lord over. He's not someone who is going to punish violently. He's not going to do any of those things because of his love. And that is what Christ has done for his bride, the church, to sanctify her, to wash her with like water in the Word. As such, I am required to, in following the example which we celebrate every year on this very weekend, washing my bride with water, with the word, cleaning her of the wounds and the stains of daily life.